I looked today. We might actually hit 25 by Friday.
We might. I know we're close.
Now, here's the thing. I know we're in the future right now, but like currently,
Like this
while
day.
recording this video, we are in the past.
We're at like 24,800 and something, like almost 900. So if we can hit a couple hundred subscribers this week, we're there. We did it.
Yeah.
Milestone
Anyway,
achieved, baby.
Either it got achieved or it didn't. But it came out last Friday, so we'll check it out.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. 307 Reacts. I'm Matt. That's Chris.
Yeah.
You guys are you. Best audience in the entire world. And I don't care what anybody else says. They can have it. That's fine.
Yeah.
But you guys are the greatest audience in the world. On the screen, we have our friend Lauren Babick.
No.
We have our friend Violet Orlandi.
Yes.
God, why was I thinking? I saw Halocene in the comments, and I'm thinking her. I'm thinking Lauren Babick. I'm thinking Violet. Like they're all in the.
They're all in the group.
You know. But yeah, so anyways, Violet Orlandi is going to explain to us.
Once again, just like we were talking, if you guys didn't see
like-
a couple of videos ago, we talked about where we reacted to the Do and Gibson reacting to us. I talked about your small cluster, right? These guys are in these clusters.
They are. This is one of those ones where like I don't know I don't know how they know each other, but I think they all do. I'm pretty sure they all do. They've been in videos together and
They've
stuff,
all been
right?
running the same circuit, you know.
That's how it works. But anyways, we're going to listen to Violet explain how she got screwed over by her label, which apparently she is no longer a part of. So golf clap for that. Way to go. Congratulations for getting rid of that and getting out of there. I don't know what... Are you okay over there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You ever drink something real cold like a soda and you get that little like, I'm a hiccup and it's going to hurt.
It's like that.
We avoided it.
Weird indigestion burp, but it's not indigestion.
And like
it's
when
just
it hits,
fizz.
it feels like your throat explodes. Like it, God, dude, it's about to get violent in here.
Anyways, on the subject of independent artists this week, we figured we'd just throw this video in the mix because it's been a whole week. If you guys haven't seen our videos, which by the way, sorry that our first 3 videos this week, our heads were like almost cut off in those videos. I adjusted the camera down because I thought it was too high, and so I guess
Turns out when we were on vacation, so was the camera.
Yeah, so it just kind of lowered down a little bit, and then you know, it is what it is. It doesn't really matter. Who cares, anyways? But yeah, so we're gonna watch her.
Yes.
We're gonna listen to her story. I don't know what. If it's anything like the stories I've been listening to from previous this week, it's going to be wild. Like the stuff I've heard this week that I've just been researching and going down rabbit holes has just been blowing my mind all week. Like I said in the last few episodes, it's been a great week for content, and I'm excited to hear more of it. It's going to get me more riled up and hyped, and I'm like, it's putting me in the mood to get like back into the work and the grind, and like we got some good meetings coming up and stuff, and I'm excited. We're in work
things
mode.
Are moving, man.
That's right.
Fast.
That's right. Moving and grooving, baby.
We thought we were moving fast before, man. We're about to grab a whole nother gear. We're about to discover like 5th gear, and then we still have an overdrive after that.
Yeah, we're about to work our way into warp space.
Yeah.
All right. So, anyways, in the meantime, let's see what Violet's got to say. Like, comment, subscribe. There's a graphic coming across. There's a video flying in, and then here we go.
Hello, this is the beginning of the video, so I am here to tell you about the horrible story of my previous label and our horrible, horrible relationship. This is like an advice to all of the young musicians out there who are thinking about signing with a label, any label. Okay, so this was back in 2019, mid-2019. They emailed me saying that they were a label from the UK and they wanted to sign me. They watched my videos on YouTube and they really liked it and they wanted to set up a meeting. I read that email and for some reason I think it's spam or it's not worth my attention, so I ignore it. That was the universe's sign number 1 to me that I ignored. So they email me once again asking for a meeting again. And then I reply to them saying, well, thank you so much for the offer, but I am actually living in Brazil. I'm not living in the UK anymore as I once were. So they reply to me right away saying that they're not really looking to sign people exclusively from the UK. They're looking to sign anyone from the internet because that's what they do. It's mainly online. So I think, perfect. There's a label actually wanting to sign me, which at the time I thought it was so exciting and an important chapter in my life because I thought that's what artists do. They sign the labels and that's the next step in their career, right? So I schedule a meeting with these people. The day of the meeting comes and
She's not wrong. That's
I can just feel the excitement, but as she's looking back on it, she goes, God, you're so dumb.
And man, that's called learning. That's just what it is. Being able to look back on a choice you made or a decision you made or something like that and go, God, and know that you would never do that again because of how stupid it was. Boom, you learned something, and that's okay. Like that's fine. That's human nature. That's what we're supposed to do, right? Unfortunately, it just sucks that we waste a lot of time. Sometimes we'll waste years of our lives doing something that we shouldn't be doing, and finally realize. And then you have to look back and you kind of regret the fact that, like, fuck, I wasted so much time doing that. However, it's still a learning process, and then you can move forward from there and see the red flags and all that stuff going on. But yeah, dude, I can see it already. Like I can hear it in her context already. There's so many red flags going up. Like, we're an internet based. Oh, we're a record label, but we're just internet based. Like, it's like, I've
what are you actually going to do?
I've had these emails before, man. Anyways, here we go.
I missed the meeting. I am very diligent with time, and I never miss any meetings. I'm very good with meetings, okay? And that was the very first time that it totally slipped my mind. And that was the universe sign number 2 to me. We scheduled a meeting. The day comes again, and I'm late to the meeting, like 20 minutes late, and I am never late. And that was the third sign from the universe to me. And the last one, I think, because then the universe was like, well, you really want this? Then fuck you. But before I continue with the story, I just wanted to give a massive shout out to this video sponsor, Surfshark VPN. Surfshark VPN is the only VPN that I work with because great white sharks are my all-time favorite animal. No other VPN is going to touch this channel. Only Surfshark. So you can use Surfshark VPN with the link in the description and use the code Orlandi to get yourself 83% off plus 3 months for free. You can use Surfshark VPN on your computer and on your phone. And whenever you are online, it's gonna protect and encrypt your data, which is really important, especially nowadays. What Surfshark VPN does is that it tricks the internet to thinking that your computer is somewhere in the world, wherever it is that it's going to fit your needs the most. So let's say you're traveling in Europe and you really want to access a website that it's only available in Brazil. You can trick the internet to thinking that you are in Brazil by turning on Surfshark VPN and choosing Brazil as your online location. If you want to log into your bank account using a public Wi-Fi, you should definitely use a VPN to protect your information so nothing leaks. Or let's say you're in Paris for the first time and you meet the cutest girl you've ever seen and you really want to buy her coffee. So you go to the coffee shop, you give them your card, and then it gets denied because your bank thinks that your card was stolen. What do? You need to impress that cute girl you just met in Paris. She's saying like, oui, oui, café, oui, oui, café. You turn on Surfshark VPN on your phone. You pick a different location. You put your IP address of your phone back in your country of origins. So there you go. Now you have money and you can pay for the cute girl's coffee and you get married and you have kids. Everything thanks to Surfshark VPN and yours truly. You're welcome.
That's pretty good, man.
So using Surfshark VPN, it's really the safest way to navigate the internet. Do people still say that, navigate the internet? And as I always say, Surfshark VPN, it's like an online condom. So if you are on the internet at all, you need an online condom just to be safe. No information of yours is going to get leaked. No pictures are going to get leaked as well. All of your passwords are going to be safe with Surfshark VPN. So make sure you wear your online condom. And if you want to support my channel having this amazing service, use code Orlandi to get yourself 83% off Surfshark VPN plus 3 months for free. There's the link in the description. Thank you so much, Surfshark, for sponsoring this video.
We heard the lady wrap up.
There you
so
go.
I actually managed to have
your
this
online
meeting
condom.
with them and talk. And they say all of the spiel of any label that you might talk to, depending on what kind of label it is. It's by musicians, for musicians. We're all involved in music in some way. We also play instruments and write our own music, so it's very a homey feeling, blah, blah, blah. And we love your music and the things that you've done on your own. It's amazing, and we're so excited to see where we can take your career. Yes, yes, yes. So I'm very flattered. They tell me the contract is only for 1 year. It's like a test drive, so we can see how it goes, and then we can renew the contract if we so desire. So I think, great. if I sign with them and I don't really like it, it's not that bad of a deal because I can leave them in about 12 months. They tell me that the split of the revenue is 50-50, which is a huge deal because that's a massive cut of my paycheck of every month that I receive from AdSense and everything that I was doing at that time. But then they tell me that this ensures that everyone is going to put in the same amount of effort, and it makes us feel like we're a team and we're building this together. I'm like, whatever. I decide to take a leap of faith. I say, okay, send me the contract and I'll go over it and I'll get back to you. So they send me their contract. I know I'm supposed to show this to a lawyer, but I don't know any lawyers. So what I thought I'd do is I could show this to a friend of mine who studied law. He's not a lawyer, he doesn't practice law, but he studied law. So I show that contract to my friend.
So here's the thing, okay? The attorney that we ask questions to when we have questions about what it is we do had an interview with somebody who kind of like is a talent scout for a record label. Not really a scout, but she's kind of the middle person between the artist and the label,
like,
right?
Yeah, the A&R guy, basically.
And this lady who worked for the label will tell you herself, right? Because any lawyer can tell you, hey, if you need a lawyer for independent or entertainment industry, you need an entertainment industry lawyer. Like, if you're in an auto accident and you get hurt or whatever, you need a lawyer specific to that thing. And like a lot of people don't, law's law. Like who cares? Here's the thing: entertainment industry lawyers have seen 1,000 of these contracts.
Oh yeah,
and they know what to look for. And this lady who worked for the label said a lot of these guys. She's like, I'm just the middleman. She goes, sometimes I'll kind of let them know, hey, read over this contract.
Like, you should read over that.
Because she can't really say anything because
she can't
wants
give an
to
opinion.
keep her job.
Yeah, she can't
right?
she can't like state
She's
her
like,
own opinion.
Read over this contract. I would suggest hiring a lawyer.
Yep.
Okay.
She can like state facts. Like, you should read this. You should hire a lawyer.
Now here's the crazy thing. Okay, the label would provide a lawyer to read over the contract for them, or for the artist. Well, who's paying the lawyer? Well, yeah. Mm-hmm. So, what do you think the guy's going to do? Well, the lawyer's like, yeah, man, everything looks good.
Looks
Here
great.
you go.
Looks great to me. Yeah, go ahead and sign it. Go ahead and sign that. Give you half your paycheck away.
So, whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's creating a business, becoming a musician, make sure that you at least know of somebody that's a lawyer specific to that industry. Not necessarily saying you have to hire them and also, keep them in your pocket, but like
beware
just
too.
know
like,
somebody.
Beware, especially like if you get an offer from a big label or something like that. Like, man, that podcast that I listened to really opened me up. Like, beware, because even if you try and get out of something like that, and they say that you can after a certain time or whatever, they might still keep you. And even if you say no, legally I'm allowed to get out, they can go, fine, then like, do whatever you want. Like, we'll sue you. And you're like, well, I'll countersue you. These places have teams of legal divisions that set up to keep you in grips with them.
Like,
so
typically what they'll have is they'll have some clause that refers to another subsection of a different contract. So like, basically when you sign this contract, you're signing three contracts. And the other contract states that like they don't need your consent to re-sign the
it's a subsidiary form that does this and that. It's and they have teams of dudes set up to create loopholes and to make those loopholes work. That was the whole thing with the Victory Records guy. It was like a couple of these bands like went back and tried to sue this guy, and they ended up getting beat the fuck up by the lawyers from this record company. It's like, because these guys are pros, man. Like, they are the pros, and they know the contracts and they know how to work it. And it's like, you can't get around it. It's like, so ironclad shit. So just beware with anything. I would say that applies with anything. Contracting people out, like if you're going to do contract work for a house or something like that, know who you're hiring. Like, watch your contracts. Like, make sure they're working the right hours and like doing the right thing. I don't know, man. I just beware. Like, spend your money wisely. Just, your money's your biggest, that's your biggest surviving tool. So don't let people take it. Like it's crazy to hear these stories. It's wild, man. So
friend, and we schedule a meeting over the phone, and he says, listen, this is a very standard contract. By the looks of it, it seems like they're gonna treat you like a pop star. They're going to put your name everywhere. I'm not sure if that's the path that you want for your career. I'm not sure if you want to be treated more like an underground artist, like a rock artist. And I thought, well, I'm not a pop artist, but if they're going to treat me like a pop artist, maybe we're going to have like the best of both worlds. I'm going to keep my image of a rock / weird person, and at the same time I'm going to have the treatment of a pop star. So they're going to set me up with lots of interviews, partnerships. It's going to be amazing, right? No. So I signed the contract. So this video is in no way meant to 100% bash them. This is just a cautionary tale of what happens when an abusive company meets a very young and inexperienced person like myself. So we start working together. They're also going to claim my YouTube videos. So all of the YouTube videos that I post every week, I have to send to them so they can claim and ensure that they are monetized and we can split the revenue, right? Right. So I start working nonstop, and right away I have this feeling that they're not going to be as involved as I thought they would be. First of all, they never email me. And I am like busy like working. I used to record everything myself. We never talk and they never email me. So I thought, well, it's like they don't exist. Another thing that I noticed right at the beginning, I was set up with this A&R representative. If you don't know what an A&R person is in a label, it means artist and repertoire. And what that person does is he is the link between you and the label.
You were talking about that guy earlier.
Is way too many people for you to talk to. So you talk to your A&R, and he works with you to like build your sound and your brand and whatever you want to make you better. But what this person would do, the only thing this person would do, is email me every week a list of songs that were trending in the world with the ideas. Maybe you could cover, I don't know what songs were trending at that time. Maybe you could cover a song that was played in The Lion King that Beyonce did. Well, look at me. Like I've done rock covers of pop artists, but you look at me. Do you think I'm gonna watch The Lion King with the song from Beyonce? Yeah, I'm gonna cover that. No. So I thought I was getting the best of both worlds, but I was actually getting the worst of both worlds. I was getting all of the bad things that come from being signed to a label, which is that huge money split and talking to a bunch of people that don't really care about you and don't really invest in your career. And the bad things about an MCN, which is that generic treatment. If you don't know what an MCN is, it's a multi-channel network. It's just a network that takes care of YouTube channels to ensure that our videos stay monetized. Like I'm with an MCN right now as we speak. So I was getting this generic treatment from this label that was supposed to have a very specific treatment to each of their artists, but I was getting none of that. But you know what? Up until that point, it was all fine and dandy. It was a bad contract, but it was okay. No horrible thing had happened yet until they sent me my invoice.
And that's a good spirit, because if God, I even if someone came along right now with a contract for us, and I don't even know what kind of contract that would be. Like we technically I signed a contract with Sweetwater, but it's not we can stop anytime. I can call them up and be like, hey man, I don't even think they would care. I wouldn't even have to call them. We just stop doing it. It doesn't even, it's not a thing. They're not depending on sales from us. We're not depending on money from them. Like it's just it's like hey dude,
it's a partnership. It's
like
kind of thing.
We like you guys, and they're like, we like you guys. And we're like, cool. Can we share some links? And they're like, yeah, dude. That's our agreement with them. Like,
I mean, at least the cool thing with them is like we could literally call them right now, and somebody will answer.
Somebody answer the phone. They'll get us gear if we need it. They'll usually they cover the shipping on basically everything we need, because we order a lot of shit from them. We like them a lot. So, but yeah, getting into these contracts, dude. It's just,
here's what gets me. It has to be a very sinking feeling when you sign a contract and 50% of your normal revenue is now going away, and you're putting in all this work and there's Nothing. It just feels like another day, and you're only making half the money.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, a company could come in and offer us a contract right now for a bunch of money or whatever the thing may be. I don't know. We'll deck out your studio and blah blah blah. If they said, but we're going to backlog and take half your revenue for all your channels or for all your videos on your channel.
You suck this ass.
No, you're not. We're coming up on 600 videos, and you're gonna. And I mean, I would say 80% of them are monetized.
Even the ones in the future, like no, dude.
And that's the thing. You get the ones in the future, and you can backlog that. No, I don't think so. I don't think that's gonna work for me. That's how we make our money. That's the only way we make our money on the internet is through monetization on YouTube. So like, I don't know, dude. I don't know. Yeah, if anyone offered me, and especially an independent artist, but then again. What do you do, man? You're in that situation where it's like, I want the exposure, and it seems like they're going to work with me.
Here's the thing people don't realize, okay? There are millions and millions, if not billions, of different YouTube channels.
Yeah, at this point, there might be, yeah.
Out of all the YouTube channels, only 2% ever get monetized.
Really?
Yes. 2%
That's us, baby.
Of all channels actually get monetized.
We're the minority. What's going on?
So, like, listen, if you're an independent artist and you're putting together music and you're starting to get monetization on YouTube, you don't need the label.
You're
literally over halfway there.
Yeah.
Okay. The beginning half getting monetized on YouTube, great. Okay. That's half of it. Okay, the other half is just a really long half.
The other half is just the rest of the battle, which is just continually creating content and just pumping it out and interacting with your fans and responding to comments and making posts, man.
But that's the thing, man. As soon as somebody in that 2% is making a little bit of money, we ought to maybe see if we can sweep in and get half of that, you know?
Yeah, and Sony's come up behind us
that.
on a couple of fucking videos. And we you get a random email one day and it's like, this
a video we posted like fucking 10 months ago.
Months ago. A year ago. It's like, this guy's copyright claim material. And I'm like, who claimed it? And it's like, Sony Latin. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, all right, okay, great. One of the 48 million Sony guys came through and took their money. Have it. I don't care, whatever. Anyways, let's keep going with this.
Yeah.
For the month, and for the first time ever, after working super hard the whole month, I have earned the total amount of minus 400 pounds. I had worked 31 days producing music, recording my own videos, recording my own songs, recording the guitar on my own like I used to do, producing stuff on Logic like I used to do as well, editing my own videos as well like I used to do, and I received the total amount of negative 400 pounds. So right away I emailed them. I'm sorry, there must have been a glitch in the system. Your invoice says that I received minus 400 pounds. Can you please explain this to me and send me
There's got to be a problem.
Thank you very much, Violet. They emailed me back saying that was the correct amount because they had offered to mix my tracks, and irresponsible little me didn't even ask how much they were going to charge for the mixing for 4 songs a month, basically, that I was doing at the time. And they said it was for the mixing engineer. And I thought, how much am I paying for mixing? 4 songs a month are being mixed, and I can't even afford that? I would ask so many times for them to send me the breakdown of costs of anything that they were doing with my money. They would never send me any actual information on paper for me to look at. I didn't know what to do. We still had many months in our contract left. I thought, well, I can just keep working and hope that the costs balance each other out. I asked them to stop mixing my songs, and I found another mixing engineer much more affordable. I thought that was gonna fix it, right? No. The point is that for way too many months, I think for about 3 months, I actually owed them money. So I was working not only for free, I was paying to work a lot. So at that point, I had already made up my mind that I was not gonna renew my contract with them, obviously. 60 or 30 days before our contract was about to expire, I sent them a very thorough email telling them that I did not want to renew my contract with them. They email me back saying that they want to renew the contract. And I say, too bad. I don't. Goodbye. They email me back saying that they do not need my consent or my signature.
There it is. We talked about that, dude.
So they're going to do it.
Signing contracts, man. And then And that's the thing, dude. Same thing with that podcast. That's what they were like. They like, we got a lawyer on board. We are bowing out of this company. We do not want to be affiliated. And the guy was like, you don't have a choice. And they were like, well, we'll sue you. And he was like, bring it on, dude. Yeah. And then they ended up owing a shitload of money in legal fees and lawyers because Victory Records had a team of sleuths on their side that just destroyed people. Like this whole thing just came full circle.
Yeah,
you don't have to consent. It's fine. You're gonna sign again. Like, what a seedy industry, man.
We actually don't need your signature to renew the contract.
Dude, I wanted a record label so bad my entire life growing up, like being a kid and like aspiring to be a famous musician. You're like, I want a record label. I want to go tour the world. I want to be in studios and do the thing. God, I'm so glad that never happened.
Well, it used to be cool back in the 50s and 60s.
It used to work. And it was an aspiring thing because it used to work. It used to
be a real partnership.
When you could act, when there were actually just dudes smoking cigarettes in their basements and mixing out fucking, like these crazy awesome rock bands and stuff, and they were all getting a cut from it, and they were all sharing the money, and they were all just partying together and having a good time.
Yeah.
It worked great. And then capitalism came into play, and all these greedy CEO bastards started heading the companies, and they're like, well, I can just take all this money, and we can do this and that. And the artist is kind of just like my Play-Doh. I just kind of mold them however I need to, and then when I'm done with them, or find the next one and bring them on, and it turns into an application stack, basically, where you just bring in the next guy. Man, it's such a weird thing that is to think about now, too. Like, and actually saying it out loud, I'm like, wow, that's crazy. It did used to work. The record studio and the label and the thing used to be like that was the bee's knees, man.
Yeah.
And now it's literally flopped so hard that it's like a stay the fuck away from any label. Like you don't need it. You why would you need it? You can be your own label. Yeah. The internet has made that a thing.
I mean, it came down to back in the day is like there was only so many people that actually had the equipment to record and to put them on 8-track players, to put them on
look up
fucking vinyl.
Look up a 24-track tape machine. That's what they used to record on.
Yeah.
It's as big as this fucking wall. And it's got these 2 big tape reels on the bottom.
Yeah.
And not only the machine itself, but then you have to buy the tape for the machine.
Yes.
Tape is super expensive. It's so, and especially nowadays because they don't make it anymore. If you have a tape machine and you want to run it, like if you want to record in an analog studio nowadays, it's insanely expensive.
Yeah.
Mainly because they have to record on tape. And they have to, everything's run on tubes, so that everything has to be replaceable and make sure it's crazy. So like recording back in the day, it was like that was you had to find the guys that had those rigs, and that's the guys you went to.
Yeah.
But if you were going to that guy, like everyone knew that guy, and that was the guy.
And here was the thing: that guy had a lot of money. In fact, he had a lot of overhead.
His whole life was invested into that craft, and that was
he's going to treat his artists good because he's got a ton. He doesn't want his reputation to be bad.
Yep.
These guys out here with the internet, with the creation of the internet and everything, who cares? Fucking you do whatever you want. I'll find somebody else.
And digital currency now, it's so easy to come by money digitally now that it just like it goes here and it goes there, and it's so easy to just throw it there and throw it here and do this and that and the other, and it's like, I'm glad I got to experience the music in the time that I did, and I was still kind of in the realm where if you landed a record deal, it was probably still pretty good, aside from Victory Records. But I'm glad I'm out of that now because now it's this whole thing where it's like, watch out for anyone trying to sign you to anything. Don't sign any contracts for anyone because they're gonna fuck you.
And here's the thing: where like our record label, Snapback Records. For now, it's just a recording studio.
You're looking at it. This is Snapback Records right
here. We treat the artist like any other recording studio is. Like the song, like literally our contract, we don't do 1-year contracts. No. We do buy the song, buy the video. Once it's done, it's done.
We do made-to-order contracts.
Yeah.
So, like, you want to come in and do a song and a video? Okay, well, let's write up a contract for 1 song and 1 video. And and then once that's done, boom, we release we're not holding on to your rights. We're not holding on to any of that shit. I don't want to. I don't have the disk space for that stuff. Take your masters. I don't fucking need that. Yeah. It's your master. Why do I want it?
The only thing we may ever ask in the future is just points on something. Which if you guys don't know what points are, it's basically like, hey, if this song blows up, we want a 2% kickback.
It'll be
that's it.
It comes down to money at a certain point. If this song does take off, I'd like a credit on there so I can get a little bit of kickback.
And I mean 2%. That's
a very small amount.
Typically labels it's an 80-20 split, with the 80 being in the record
or
label.
50-50. Holy shit, man. All right,
it's crazy.
Let's keep going.
But anyway, And then I started getting very desperate and angry at myself for thinking that they were gonna say, that's fine, thank you so much for your hard work, goodbye. No, they wanted to renew the contract without my new signature and without my consent. So I started freaking out, right? I wasn't making any money off of YouTube. Patreon saved my life. That was the only money I was living off of. I was filming and recording all of my videos just off of the money that I made on Patreon. So I realized that I had to hire a lawyer, and I was advised to hire a lawyer from the UK because the laws are different in the UK than in the US.
That's good advice.
That makes Brazil sense as well. It's like the most expensive thing to do is hiring a lawyer from the UK, but I did it. I stopped all direct contact with the label, and my lawyer would speak for me. As they're talking, and as my lawyer is trying to get me out of that contract, he advises me to go basically on strike, to stop producing covers, because if I would carry on with the covers, I would just be making them more money. I didn't want to do that. So I think I stopped with the covers for about 2 months, which was very scary for me because ever since I started doing my covers on YouTube, I had never stopped. I would upload one video every week religiously. I had never taken a break off of YouTube. That was the very first time I went a prolonged amount of time without posting anything. So I didn't know if people were going to unsubscribe. I didn't know if people were going to ever come back to my channel to watch stuff. I thought I was going to hurt my channel so much. My viewership was never going to be the same anymore. So it was a very stressful time to me. My lawyer and the label talk back and forth. The label doesn't want to let me go, but my lawyer was able to get me to a place where they agreed to let me go if I would release one full-length original album through them. And as soon as the masters were delivered to them, they would end my contract. At the time, I was...
That's a big ask, dude. That's huge. Like, yeah, we'll let you go, but you have to do a full length with us, and we keep the masters. That's basically another contract, man. Like, that's... I mean, a full length is 10 songs, usually. Yeah. 10 to 12 songs.
10 to 12, yeah.
Like, I mean,
I
if you're
would consider anything less than 10 like an EP.
And I consider when you're talking, I mean, typically I consider 12 songs a full length. Like, 12 songs is a full length, but I think you can get away with 10 and still call it a full length. I don't know what the actual rules are. But that's still, regardless, that's an insane amount of work. That's so much work, man. Doing an entire album, most bands will spend
a year and a half.
If they have the budget, they'll spend Linkin Park spent. I watched a studio walkthrough of one of theirs. They spent 2 years in the studio writing Hybrid Theory. Yeah,
probably. Yeah.
And literally they had beds set up in the live room where they were rehearsing. Like, they just had cots and shit set up out there. They slept in the studio for like 2 years writing an album, waking up, like doing the thing. Like it's crazy. That's so much. And you know, obviously now today you can make it happen a lot faster. Obviously with the advancement of digital technology. But regardless, it's still they're asking so much. And at the end of all of that, once you put in all that work and you've done a full length, you can't take it home. We're gonna take it and then off you go. Thanks. Yeah. Which means we get to keep using your music forever and ever and ever and ever. And nothing you can do about that. It's just like, man, it's just such a stab in the back, dude.
Oh God, you know it'd be worse, right? If she was like, she did a cover video, right? She uploaded it. All of a sudden, she sees an ad come up for
her video on a different
for her album. Stream it on Spotify,
dude. And that might have happened. Who knows, man? I don't know if she ended up. So I guess we're gonna find out if they want to do the full length or not, or how that's gonna work. But regardless, that is a huge ask to ask someone to do a full length before they leave, and you don't get to take it with you. Put in again, and she's paying them to work for them. She's in the negative. She's still been paying them for the mixing. So we're keeping your masters. You're gonna do a full length for us, and you still owe us money. Like, see ya.
That's rough.
God, dude, that's the contract, man. Crazy.
The masters were delivered to them, they would end my contract. At the time, I was so desperate that I thought, yes, I'll totally do that. Now I realize that I could have pushed that deal further to not have to do anything, but I was so desperate and wanting to get out and wanting to start working again that I said, yes, okay.
I would have pushed for
songs.
like
I
a
took
6-song
like
EP.
I would have
2
pushed for 5
weeks
songs.
out of my life to sit down in front of the computer myself without anyone else, and I recorded everything on my own in my bedroom, those 10 fucking songs that I had in my catalog, and I sent it to the mixing engineer and I got the masters back. I didn't even listen to the masters. I just sent everything to the label
Atta
and
girl.
I said, here you go, leave me alone. That's why I do not push that album at all right now, because it's still available. I despise
But
the
it's not
existence
hers.
of that
Yeah.
album. I enjoy the songs that are in there, but I hate the way that they were produced. I hate the way that they sound. I hate everything about it and what it represents. Especially because if you listen to that album, you're just giving money to that piece of shit of a label. I deliver my masters to the label,
Right there,
and then
man.
I just ask them if they're gonna invest any money whatsoever in this, because they wanted me to also produce music videos for it, and I said, if you pay for it, I'll do it. So they write me back saying that they're gonna invest $5,000. $5,000, yes, for all of my pain and suffering and all of the time that I was gonna have to take out of my day to do this. They were gonna invest $5,000. They wanted 3 music videos and 3 lyric videos, not counting all of the time that I spent producing the music for this piece of shit of an album. So I
Okay.
take the money.
Okay, let me tell you really quick. When we recorded our last album in Baltimore, Maryland, same studio that Thrice, Census Fail, a couple other bands recorded in, right? We were there for 14 days. We recorded 5 songs. That cost us $5,000.
Yeah.
That cost us $5,000. 5 songs cost us $5,000.
Oh, yeah.
They're asking her to do twice as much as that and record videos. Shoot,
Oh,
record,
the 5,000
edit.
is just for the videos.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Just for
Yeah.
the videos. Shoot, record, edit, do all, like,
For 6 videos. 3 music videos and 3 lyric video. How about now?
no, man. For all the, and for all the money she's paid to you guys already for the mixing that you guys have done.
Thing. When she sent them the masters, it's done.
That's it.
She could have just,
She should have just like, nope, I'm good. That's it.
see ya.
And I do whatever I can to produce 1 music video and 1 lyric video. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna do anything else. I'm sorry. So that was that. I produced those 2 videos. I released the album through them, and a couple of months after we ended our contract, they sent me interviews for websites that, I'm sorry, but no one fucking reads and no one has ever heard of. And if you manage to find those interviews, I gave some really funny answers. So let me know if you're able to find them. One of the questions for one of those interviews actually was like, do you have anything to say to your fans? And my response to that was, so anyway, how's your sex life? That is the tale of how I got signed and how I got released from that abusive contract. So now I'm finally out, and I'm thankfully making money once again. I'm with an MCN now, which is a much better deal for me. I've gotten a few DMs ever since I got released from that contract from people who were approached by that label and wanted to sign them. And I told everyone that they should run for their lives. So here's my advice to you if you're thinking about signing to a label. At least
Don't.
make sure that they're gonna actually put in the work to push your career and to make things bigger and better for you, because that is the bare minimum. And if they can actually invest in your career, that's a plus. I had none of those things. Read your contracts, or at least make sure that you hire a very good lawyer that was very well recommended to you to read them with you.
Yes.
And fuck that label. Not all labels are bad, but that one specifically was very bad. So this is where I'm at right now. I am currently producing my debut full-length original album. Let's
Nice.
call it that, because we're going to forget what happened. And we're
Let's
doing
call it
everything
that.
independently. So if you would like to support the album and the making of the album, you can check out the links in the description, especially for Patreon if you want some extra cool rewards, including having your name printed on the physical and digital copies
What?
of the album.
That's
Oh,
cool.
I really appreciate all of the support that we've been getting for this album. And if you're new and you want to join, feel free to join Patreon or make a one-time donation with the links in the description. I really, really appreciate this. By the way, if you're a lawyer, or if you know a lawyer and you want to help me take that first album down, take it back from that horrible label, hit me up. We need to talk. Help me. Thank you so much for watching. And thank you so much for listening to this cautionary tale. Cautionary tale with Violet. Thank you so much,
Cautionary tales
for
with
sponsoring
Violet.
this video and working with us once again. I'll talk to you later. Please appreciate every single album that we put in the background for you. Okay?
Very nice. Very
Bye.
nice.
Had some Nirvana in there, had Slash in there.
Oh, yeah.
A couple of good ones back there. I wasn't paying too much attention to that, but yeah, man, I feel like she's just, in a nutshell, like we've talked about it over and over on the channel since we've been doing independent artists, man. Contracts are dangerous. If you're going to get into something like that.
Here's the thing. Contracts within themselves can be lifesavers.
And that's what I was going to say. Like contracts are dangerous. However, like if you're going to get into one, just make sure you know what the fuck is going on. Sometimes contracts are necessary. Like it's just a thing. Like you have to have that. Like even in your business, people sign waivers and contracts in your business all the time.
Every day.
All the time. Because people are constantly trying to fuck people like you over. And get free work out of you and get free parts out of you and do things like that, you know? So, like, contracts are absolutely necessary. I'm not saying, like, anytime it comes across, rip it up or whatever. Yeah. Just make sure you know what it says. Make sure you know what you're liable for and what you could be liable for if you decide that you want to maybe shake something up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's just a lot of different loopholes. And I'm over here talking like I know something. I don't. I don't know anything about it. I just know that,
Find a lawyer specific to what it is you're trying to do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Don't just go find any fucking lawyer. It doesn't work that way.
In the great words of Glenn Fricker, if you work in a corporation and you go and talk to their HR, they are 100% in the company's pocket and they are only out to fuck you. So find a third-party lawyer, someone who's completely disassociated with that because...
and they're going to be expensive.
Oh, they're going to be expensive as fuck.
But I tell you what.
If it turns out in your favor, you're never going to have to work again. So there's one of those kind of things, right?
Well, and here's the thing. Like, you're still going to have to pay whether you sign a contract or not. And here's the thing. I would rather make payments to a lawyer. Let's say $2,500 for this lawyer to come in and read the contract with me, right? I would rather make payments on that than work for a year in the negative. Literally pay to work. That's ignorant to me. You know what I mean?
And right there, hiring a lawyer to read over the contract who is specific in those kind of contracts, that lawyer would have seen the clause where it said, oh, we'll also do all your mixing for you. And then they brush over that part. That lawyer would have gone, okay, you're going to do the mixing. Is that free?
Yeah.
Or are we paying for that?
Yeah.
And they would have been like, oh, well, it's, $25 an hour for our mixing engineer. And boom, right there. Like that would have saved you a ton of headache. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to blame Violet for any of this. Like,
no.
Nobody fucking knows. Like, you get into these situations where you have no idea, right?
Oh, and here's the thing. If you guys haven't seen that video that I had go viral with the car being dragged up on the... I got contacted by somebody who's like the middleman for the label or whatever it is. But basically, this lady wanted to have me sign a contract where they would take the video and they wanted I put a music over the one on Instagram or maybe it was TikTok. I don't remember.
It was Eastbound and Down, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Eastbound and Down.
Load it up, we're trucking.
So good,
oh, dude. So good.
So good.
Anyway, she's like, we want the original video, the original audio, uncut, like whatever, and we're going to sell it to TV networks.
Oh, that want to put their shit over the top of it.
Yeah, or sell it to other YouTube channels or what. They have those shows where it's like USA Epic Fails or whatever.
And
so
at the surface,
and they told me it was a 60-40 split with the 60% in my favor, which that sounds good. Now, here's where I'm reading over this contract, and it's less than a page.
It's a Gmail. That's usually it's like
not a whole lot there. Okay, I said, well, send me over the contract. I'll look at it. So they send it to me, and I picked up on two things, and I don't remember. One of them was, 60-40 split on what? The total that you sold over the year? The 60-40 split on each sale to each individual network? Is it a 60-40 split
on airtime, on view time?
What?
Am I getting paid
what are we splitting?
Am I getting 6 different checks from 6 different networks, or because that's dope? But
what's going on?
Okay,
okay, so that was very vague. The other thing that was vague is they asked for permission to use the video in the contract, but they don't specify who owns the rights to the video. do I still retain full rights of the video?
Probably not.
Or do you guys retain 20% of the rights or 80% of the right? Like, what's going on?
So at a certain point when I want to reuse this, I'm not going to be able to because you guys will have all the rights.
All of a sudden, I put it up on YouTube and got a copyright claim.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Like, that's my video. Yeah, that's how it happens.
So I sent it over to our lawyer. I said, it's a brief contract. If I got to pay for you to look over it, that's fine. I said, these are my 2 questions. And she goes, those are the first 2 things that stood out to me. She goes, there's also these other things. It's really vague. She goes, I'd walk away.
Super generic, yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, say no more.
There you go.
So
and I assume that probably turned out for the better. I don't know. You never know. Sometimes you take a gamble and it works. That's why they call it a gamble, right?
Yeah.
But oftentimes when you go into a casino, you don't come out with stacks and stacks of cash. You usually come out in the negative.
Yeah.
So, and that's been my experience with gambling.
Or at least break even. That's
I've had a couple of great experiences gambling. I've had some great experiences gambling, but 95% of the time I go in and I lose money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why they call it a gamble. So but most of that shit I think is pretty easy to sift through on the surface. If your gut feeling is this is weird, it's probably weird, right? Like you probably get a second opinion on it, and a lot of times I feel like that works out in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Anyway, if you guys like this video as much as we did,
Yeah.
be sure to leave a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, click the bell, become part of the notification gang. And by the way, they released that album where they did a whole bunch of covers of My Chemical Romance songs with Lauren Babic and Halocene.
Yeah.
Check that album out, dude. It was good. It was really good. When I was in SEMA, dude, I had my earbuds in, just like listening. God, it's so good.
The ones we've seen on the channel have been insane. So Halocene, Lauren Babic, Violet Orlandi, the whole crew.
Yeah.
That whole crew, you guys are killing it. Keep it up.
Anyway,
we're here for it.
Just like the last video, don't fuck your phonics and don't get fucked. We'll see you guys next time. Bow.
Welcome back to Fuck Dumb Phonics.
Don't fuck your phonics.